any inherently difficult discipline, you have to put in work. So it doesn't matter what that discipline is. Maybe, for example, you like music. Let's say you like the piano. And with the piano, you can do things in many different ways. You can play around a little bit, and you can make progress, and maybe at some point you can play some nice songs for your friends. Maybe you like pop music or so on, and so on. You can do it at this level. But if you want to be an international concert pianist, playing Chopin and Mozart, you've got to practice every single day. It's not enough to do it for 1 hour on a Saturday afternoon. So if you do it 1 hour on a Saturday afternoon, you have zero chance, zero. So that's all I'm saying, that chess is not an easy game. That's actually part of its great appeal. It's considered to be the ultimate mind sport. So it is challenging, but it is demanding if you wish to reach the higher level. So the answer is basically more of everything. And I do recommend studying the games of the best players. And it doesn't matter who you like. Maybe you like Magnus Carlsen, maybe you like Vishy Anand, maybe you like Bobby Fischer, or it doesn't matter. Whoever you like, have a look at their games and see what made them great players. I was brought up in an era when Bobby Fischer was playing against Boris Spassky in the World Championship final. So that was really the inspiration for me to get into the game. And I studied those games, and then afterwards Anatoly Karpov became world champion. Actually, probably a much bigger influence than me. I studied his games a lot. And bit by bit, you gradually become better. So you can play with your fingers, that's one thing. But another important part is analysing your own games. So when you play your games, if you play them under tournament conditions, you are writing down the moves. Go back and check them. Check them on a computer, check them on your phone. You can download all of these engines for free. So we are living in an era where there is a democratization of information. Before you could say, if you were living in a certain place, you might be disadvantaged because you were geographically not in the center of things. But these days you can learn chess from absolutely anywhere. So no easy path. I probably depressed you there.
No, like you said, you have to enjoy the process.
You have to. The point is, if you do not enjoy the process, you will not put in enough time. So you have to put in the time if you want to become extremely good. So if you're not enjoying it, you will never do it. At some point, maybe you're very, very disciplined and you're going to stick with it and you'll go forward, and eventually you'll give up. If you're not disciplined at all, you never begin because it's too much effort. But enjoy the process. So that is key. If you're looking at some players, you know, Mikhail Botvinnik, I'm not such a big fan. Doesn't matter. Other good players you can study. Mikhail Tal, you know, who I had the honour of playing 7 times in classical chess. So you study the games of players like that. Great genius. So enjoy it. Any other questions?
Okay, you already answered like practically a lot of the questions that's in my mind. I have like one, but yesterday when she was asking me about you, like I sent her like a bio I saw on chess.com, and like then I saw one of the game you played against Gary Kasparov, you know. So like I see there's a lot of kids, they have this challenge, like they are afraid of stronger players. So like, how do you overcome that dilemma as a chess player or as a professional chess player?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get the question.
Yeah, I saw one of the games you played against Gary Kasparov, and you beat him. And Gary Kasparov is, you know, everybody knows about Gary Kasparov.
Well, I mean, the lifetime score against Gary Kasparov was not very good. There was a reason why. Yeah, okay, I do have a few victories against him, but overall it was a painful result against him. But you may recall, actually, in 2024 in Budapest, at the Centenary Awards, there was a prize for the greatest player of the last century, and it went to Magnus Carlsen. So Magnus Carlsen went up, collects his trophy or whatever it was, and he said, well, I understand very much why you are giving this to me, I perfectly understand it, but in my opinion, Gary Kasparov is the greatest player. So the greatest player of the last 100 years says that Gary Kasparov is the greatest player of the last 100 years. So look, you know, he was a player. I had difficulty with a great chess genius, and I never really learned how to play against him successfully. What I did discover was that in general attacking him was better, because he calculated very, very well. So if you put your pieces in aggressive positions, he could see your possibilities better than you could see them yourself. So maybe he was sometimes, you know, a little bit concerned, but it was much easier to talk about attacking Kasparov than to do it successfully. Any more questions? Yeah, go, fire away.
What age did you start your chess career?
What age did you? Yes, let me ask you first. What age did you start your chess career?
Maybe 8, 7.
Yeah, that is probably a little bit late. It's possible. In general, the younger the better. I started playing at about 5, but I didn't really begin playing proper chess until I was 7. So then I started playing in tournaments. My first tournament was in Liverpool. It was a junior tournament, and there were about 2,000 kids playing in that event at that time. And yeah, there was a a lot of chess activity. So I was playing for a club. In fact, I played for 2 clubs to give more opportunities, and I also was playing. I was playing in tournaments whenever I could. So it's a question. I don't know what are the statistics here in Seychelles, but if you take another chess federation, for example, Guam, in the Pacific, it's got a population which is, okay, it's more than Seychelles, but not that much more. They have about 50 rated tournaments a year. So basically you can play any weekend rated tournament, ELO rated, internationally. That's what should be happening here in Seychelles. You should be having regular tournaments. So, you know, I don't know what the figures are here, but that can be done. That does not need outside help from anyone. That is purely internal and just requires a little bit of organisation. So these are the possibilities.
Okay, thank you guys. Just an interview. Thank you for going us and shooting. Jen, you want place him?
No, I'll just I'll watch them. I'll watch them.
Just browse as if your
Yeah, I'll watch them.
Huh?
Okay, so play some games, guys. Against each other.
Così fare iya, nah, tapal baby. Oke. Ali mau apa aja kan gue.
Let me tell you something. Listen to this. The knight on the rim is grim. Where have you put your knight? On the rim. That's on the rim is grim. Just remember that, okay? Yeah, if you put it on the side, it controls fewer squares on the side. That's a general rule. There are always exceptions. You will find exceptions, but your general rule of thumb is you centralize. You don't put your pieces off the edge. It's like sailing to the edge of the world. You'll fall off, you know, if you go too far. That's, Let me ask you a question. Okay, make a move. Let me ask you a question. Which are better, bishops or knights? Wrong. Bishops, usually. There are plenty of exceptions. So you have given away a bishop, which is maybe worth 3 1/4. For a knight, which is 3. So it's a small loss, very small loss of material there. This is an open position. And look at this bishop, beautifully placed on this diagonal. And look at your black squares. Your black squares, you have these weaknesses everywhere. So you're playing, this is, it's like a Swiss cheese with holes in it. So you need to be careful about things like that. You need to love your bishops more. That's why I think the Vatican should have a chess federation, because they need to take care of their bishops. They can love their bishops.
We have a huge Catholic community, so
Yeah.
we'll send you a Sunday.
And we just had a good bishop.
A new bishop. Yeah, well that's it. You want to love your bishops.
That's a good one.
I don't know in life, but in chess, certainly.
Tidak.